So I've been in the manufacturing business now, doing machining for over 20 years, and I've worked my way up, demoted myself, plenty of things along the way. I'm gonna kind of jump in and tell you guys about 10 things to really excel your growth, potentially more than likely your pay if you can follow this. And not only that, just some of the things that'll make you more noticeable to help you out and get you better there. So with that being said, the number one thing is that I've noticed will help out tremendously and you actually get noticed is if you ask higher ups, what can I do to help? A lot of times that, people wait to be told what to do. That keeps you stuck. If you just simply say, hey, what can I do to help? How can I help the company? I'm caught up on what I need to do. I want to become more valuable, which I'll touch up on that in a second. But one of the biggest things is just ask, what can I do to help? If you then you're noticed, they'll give you a task, you do it, and then they be like, hey man, you got that done for me, exactly what I wanted. So that's probably the number one. The next thing is don't overreact. I see so many times people overreact. Maybe you're on your phone 5 minutes past break. This is a huge one, and people, like if a manager or somebody walks by and says, hey, come on, break's over, they get so upset about it and they overreact, they let it ruin their whole day. So one of the big things is I like to always look at the bigger picture and just brush it off. Maybe they have a bad day, default to, they're stressed out about something. It really wasn't you, so that's just don't overreact. Maybe you get into it with a coworker because they didn't do something right. Just take a breath. Don't overreact. That will go a lot farther, and that definitely helps because if you've got two coworkers that are always battling each other, a lot of times management really you're a problem for management. You don't want to be a problem for management if you want to increase your wage. 1-3-1 everything. So one problem, I come up with 3 solutions, and then I go on the best one out of the 3. 1-3-1 everything. You got 2 coworkers are arguing. I come up with 3 solutions. All right, let's figure out what the best one of these solutions are. Let's get them away from each other. Machine breaks down. Okay, what's 3 solutions? What can I do? So 1-3-1 everything, and that also goes on to overreacting. If you stop back, you like, how will this affect me in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 months? Years, whatever. 1-3-1 everything. Definitely go a lot farther on in your career. Move on faster. You're upset with a coworker. You're upset with the boss. Move on faster. Don't dwell on it all day. Don't dwell on it all week. I've watched so many people that will dwell on a decision that was made 2 months ago, and they'll still be upset because they haven't moved on. Just move on faster. That's very hard. It's easy for me to say now. I used to dwindle and literally work myself up and think about it. But I started to just let it go. I 1-3-1 it. I literally, how will this decision affect me? If I don't move on, how is this going to affect me in my next week? How is this, issue that I had 2 weeks ago, is that going to affect me in a year from now? Most of the time, no. So if it's not going to affect me long term, why dwell on it? Just move on faster. Definitely gets you a lot faster on in your career. Become more valuable. Okay, so definitely this helps out a lot. I've watched a lot of people, they literally sit down once they get their stuff done and they wait to be told the next thing. That doesn't make you more valuable. What makes you more valuable is learning skills. I've always been the type of person, I'll work myself out of work. After I'm done working myself out of work, I will go ask and I'll go try to learn something new and go outside my comfort zone a little bit and then learn that task. That makes me more valuable. I know more stuff. I know more machines, etc., etc. I really should do a YouTube video on that and just walk down every machine I know. It's tremendous. I got so many machines I know how to run because this is what I've done. I've, just became more valuable. I overworked myself out of work, and then I go to a new machine, learn the whole process. I can set up a lot of machines. I can run a lot of machines. I can program a lot of machines, and that is because of becoming more valuable, and I keep on next thing. I don't slow down. I don't wait to be told what to do. So be self-driven right here. That's pretty much what I'm talking about right there. All right, so invest more time. Another thing that really condenses everything. If somebody's only willing to do 40 hours and they only have 40 hours a week to learn, but you're willing to go and invest a little bit of overtime, and you start working 50 hours, well, you're gaining 10 hours of experience on that employee every single week that's only doing 40. Eventually, that will make you more valuable. Even if you're just an average employee and they're a rock star that's only doing 40, you will eventually become way more valuable if you let time grow and it compounds on your skills. So not saying to work overtime, but that definitely does increase your pay really quickly because it's pretty much dollar for dollar or dollar for hour. I don't really recommend you just going and working hours for time for money. Eventually, you want to work skills for money. So, but right off the bat, this one definitely gets you more valuable. Once you learn them skills, you start getting more and more skills. Then you start becoming more valuable, and then the overtime can dwindle down. Or after you're more valuable, the overtime multiplies even better. Knowing enough is enough. A lot of people, they get burnt out. Just knowing enough is enough. Know what your pain point is. I've actually have struggled this a couple times. Not gonna lie, I have been promoted very high up, and then I was like, okay, this isn't for me, and I demoted myself. Went back down to the floor, and thought life was gonna be better. And, it's kind of a rocky thing but knowing enough is enough. And then also, with that being said, don't when things get tough, don't do stuff like I kind of regret demoting myself a couple times. But anyways, knowing enough is enough, so you don't get burnt out and start hating your job and stuff like that. Sometimes it is okay to demote yourself, take a little bit of a break. Not recommending that. Like I said, I did that. I kind of regret it at times, but then again, life is easier. So be self-driven, and that's kind of already touched up on that. I analyze everything. I kind of watch people do it. I watch people overreact, underreact, and I kind of analyze the bigger picture, and I want to look at an outcome more than the day-to-day task. And so that's one of the big things when I say analyze data. Try to be better than your previous self, and then these all kind of go back to the core ones right here, like do not overreact and stuff like that. If you analyze the situation, a lot of times you won't overreact. Now this one is a huge one. This really does delay your career, at least in my experience. But I have a core value, and I don't backstab, and I don't oversell myself. I don't. I say I can do what I can do. I'm willing to learn more. I don't say I know what I can't do, and I do not backstab. A lot of people, they get up in their career and they backstab somebody, and that guy's a piece of crap, whatever, and to get into their position, well, that's good, but now you're underqualified to do the position. Just don't backstab. This is probably not going to be listened to anyway. A lot of people probably aren't going to watch this video to this point, but backstabbing, that's one of my core things. I don't have the time for it. I don't have the patience for it. I need to work on my 131 and my overreacting on that one, because it goes against everything that I believe in. So backstabbing and overselling yourself, I highly recommend not doing it. It can advance you in your career, but then again, if you oversell yourself, your career is not going to last that long. It's kind of like that fake it till you make it thing. It doesn't really work out too well. Anyways, these are some of the things that I've went through and noticed. And one of the big things, like I said, knowing enough is enough. I do kind of regret demoting myself. Not really 100%, because life has been easier, but definitely was, so that'd be one thing, just to kind of throw that out there. Enough's enough, but also don't just drop down because things get tough. Try to troop through it if you can. Hope this video helps out you guys. If it does, pass along. That's how it's going to grow. If you guys actually stayed and watched this whole thing, awesome. Kudos to you. If not, it's just me doing a little video for mostly manufacturing. I am going to start actually doing a couple classes on measurements and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm extremely good at what I do. I plan on doing what I do for a couple more years, and then I'm going to go on to my next career. But I definitely want to pass this knowledge along of the manufacturing aspect of it, because I believe that we need more good manufacturers out there, good machinists, and having a lot of knowledge that I have, and I've definitely condensed my time frames working hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of overtime. So I do have a lot of knowledge. I really am going to do a video of all the machines and stuff I could do. And if anybody's interested in something like that, blueprint training and stuff like that, I definitely want to pass that knowledge along. I'll probably just do some videos. Don't plan on charging for it, just because, I'm trying to pass that knowledge along. So thank you guys for watching. And like I said, if this helps, pass it along. That's how it's going to grow. And you guys will see some machinist related videos in the future.